that you know how to upload data in Iris and clean up for noise in sales, you can create assortment plan and buy plan for every store within a few minutes. Here is how. Every brand will have certain styles or products which sell very well. They have significantly higher revenue, operate at lower discounting, and have higher sales velocity, and can directly impact your top line and bottom line. This module identifies such styles. The tool takes only revenue contribution as input and intelligently corrects for availability and exposure, and tags every style as either top seller or fashion. Once you have run this module, the first output is the top seller summary, where for every partner and category, Iris displays styles identified as top sellers and fashion and revenue they correspond to. In this example, out of approximately 1,200 styles, Iris tags 70 styles contributing 40% of revenue as top sellers and remaining as fashion. The next report is top seller details, where for each partner category, the tool will show the styles identified as top sellers with its images. This report can also be used by your design team to identify trends and take inspiration for the next design cycle. On downloading, you get the sales KPIs for these styles identified as top sellers like revenue, quantity, discount, and store exposure. The objective of this module is to find the ideal assortment for each store which mirrors its demand. Since every store has a specific customer segment and demand pattern, Iris does not cluster stores, unlike the manual Excel assortment planning. The tool analyzes the non-liquidated sales for every store and month. It then churns out monthly revenue contribution for every store and attribute group combination, and within each attribute group, revenue contribution of every size. There are no inputs required for smart assortment planning. Run is again a matter for a few seconds. In outputs, in store details for each store, each attribute group, every month, the tool recommends the ideal revenue contribution after intelligent correction of liquidation, exit sizes, availability, exposure, and sales velocity. Let's say you had launched an attribute group late and past due to supply chain gaps, but the attribute group sold well at lower than an average discount in the exposed bracket. In the exposed period, its raw revenue might not show its true potential. Here, Iris will correct for late exposure, and basis potential sales velocity will give a corrected revenue contribution for the projection period. In store top seller details for every store, attribute group, month combination, the revenue contribution is divided into top seller revenue contribution from styles identified as top sellers by the tool and fashion revenue contribution from styles tagged as fashion. Apart from attribute level contribution, Iris suggests size ratio to be bought for every store at the attribute group level. For ease of understanding, all our output reports are at two levels, store and partner. So just like we saw two reports for store-level assortment, there are partner-level assortments available. All these reports are downloadable in Excel at the most granular level. This module projects quantity that you need to procure to meet the demand projected by the Smart Assortment module. While the Smart Assortment module captures the demand at a percentage basis, this module gives you exact numbers based on your annual operating plan or revenue targets. Once you run the product, Iris projects revenue, and basis historical ASP, it projects monthly sales quantity for every store attribute group. This report can directly be used for OTB planning. We have a similar report at the partner or channel level as well. To summarize the buying plan for every store, the tool first identifies the top sellers, then for every attribute group month combination, it forecasts sales quantity and revenue based on that store's revenue targets. It also projects the right size ratios to be bought for every store and attribute group. The next video will show you how Iris does intelligent warehouse allocation.